JT, we are back. You are fresh off of a workshop conference. How you doing, brother?
Man, everything's amazing. How things going with you?
Everything is good. I'm fresh off of a mix. How's everybody came through? So let's talk about it, man. What did you learn? Give us like 3 to 5 takeaways you learned at the workshop that you drove 3, 4 hours to, spent two
Five.
days at,
Yeah,
and spent $1,000 to get there. What did you learn?
for sure. So, okay, one thing that I need everybody here to understand is that if you want anything to change, it starts with you.
Mm,
So, a lot of people think that they could just listen to a podcast, watch a YouTube video, and change without ever going in a room, getting a mentor, getting a coach, or anything like that. So, the first thing that I learned is that if you truly want change, you got to start changing. If doing what you've been doing don't have the life that hasn't afforded you the life that you wanted now, like let's try doing some things differently. So getting into the room, getting around that environment, and understanding how it's actually a necessity. It's not even a sales tactic. You gotta get in the room because your subconscious mind makes up 95% of who you are, and your
mm.
subconscious mind just knows whatever you repeatedly believe. So you could watch Dre every week. You could watch him every day if you want to. But if once the video is over, your natural rhythm, your natural belief system tells you this is gonna be hard. This is gonna cost a lot of money. I'm probably not gonna be successful. Well, guess what? You're not gonna be successful because your brain is connected to your nervous system, as we know that from science class. But if your brain is the script of this is what we got to do to be successful, your nervous system are the actors in the crew that actually go take action. And we don't rise to our goals. You're gonna fall to whatever belief system your nervous system feels comfortable maintaining. So you gotta get in the room. That's one. You gotta train your nervous system, right, in order to be successful. So that way you don't feel like you're threatened by success. Because as long as you feel threatened by success, your body is gonna try to get you back to a stable place where you feel comfortable. And I would say the third takeaway is if you're not willing to invest in your business, you shouldn't expect anybody else to invest in yours.
Threatened by success.
Yep,
That could be tied into what they might call self-sabotaging behavior.
for
I,
sure.
I'm not used to having money in the bank. Oh, I have money in the bank now. Let me spend the money. I have to get back to what I'm used to. So a
Yep.
lot of times, so I think more people in our community are just as maybe even yeah, maybe more are afraid of success than afraid of failure.
Can we
Because
tell
if
them where
you
that
aren't,
come from, Dre?
hmm,
So, so can we tell them where that come from? So, okay,
dude,
I'm a nerd out a little bit on y'all, right? Y'all know I'm a
sure.
country boy, so it ain't gonna be too deep, right? So, your conscious mind can't do everything. Your conscious mind is anything you logically think about doing and then you do it. Like, should I move? Should I do this, do that? Okay, obviously that's your conscious mind. Now, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are the two sides of your belief system, right? If all you had was a conscious mind, you would succumb before the age of one just because you would have to remember to breathe, to blink, to send blood to all parts of your body, who you
Mhm.
are, what you do, what you believe. If you had to consciously do all of that all at once, it would take too much energy. We would all like perish, right? So we got a subconscious mind that can take care of the majority of things that we need to happen in order for us to just to maintain our life without us consciously thinking about it, right? We don't have to consciously think about breathing, we breathe. We don't have to consciously think about blinking, we blink. You already know what you believe. Your subconscious mind is in charge of that, right? But if your subconscious mind makes up 95% of who you are, it's important for us to know, well, what makes up the subconscious mind, because it doesn't have emotion and it doesn't use logic. So 50% of your subconscious mind, it comes from your parents and the community that you choose. Now, early on when you a kid, you can't help it. You probably eat whatever your parents put on the table. If they say we going to church, you going to church. If they say we going to the mosque, we going to the mosque or whatever, right? So that being said, 50% of what makes you you is either your parents, because some of us grow up and we just never look to change anything that our parents didn't instill in us. So if our parents gave it to us, that's what we believe. If they didn't, it ain't for us. All right.
Mm.
So it's either how you were raised or what you agreed to change about yourself, the environment that you choose. That's half of it. 40% of what makes you you is the experiences that you have and how you felt about them. Right. So that's 90%. And then there's only 10% of what makes you you, the things that you really think make you you. Like, hey, if you identify as a Christian, as a Muslim, as an alpha, as a sigma, as a Q dog, as a husband, as a whatever it is, right? That only makes up 10% of your subconscious mind. So if you are somebody that is afraid to pay $15,000, right? That doesn't mean that you're not worth $15,000. Your job probably pays you well over $15,000 over the course of a year, but you have to change what you believe about you that makes you feel unworthy of getting paid $15,000 for what you know or what you can do. And until
Mm.
you change that about you, it's going to be a lot of money to pay somebody. It's going to be a lot of money for somebody to pay you. And you're going to struggle getting to the next level. Not because you don't deserve it, but it's just because how your mind is programmed until you retrain it.
Phew. You can't go back when you hear certain things, man.
For sure.
I tell people, be careful. If you say you want to be around ambitious people, want ambitious friends, be careful because you will not be able to unlearn what you hear from them. So,
Yeah.
JT, so as you know, I had a mixer,
Yep. How'd it go?
and
Yep.
I'm going to talk to them about that too. Um, and I said, man, I got the bug back, JT, to do more in-person stuff. I was doing
Yeah.
it before, pretty frequently. I had an Andre and Friends tour. I was in Oakland. I was in Dallas, Georgia. I was all over the place. I said, I'm getting back into it. But JT, I was thinking this. So I want to show people how to build out their online coaching academy in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make 20K a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking 1K a person.
Mm-hmm.
I I have the food, I got the space, and I get 25 people in there. What do you think about that?
For sure it's possible.
How's
Yep.
my price point?
Oh yeah, 1K for sure. I paid $1,000 and I was one of 40 people to be in a room.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what if I said, well, I'm not as good as the coach that you saw? Should I charge less than him?
Nah, because I think you are. Like, so it depends, right? So it's like, who are you comparing yourself to? The coach that I went to, if you're not already successful, everything he says sounds like philosophical, high level mumbo jumbo, talking about the brain, the nervous system. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? So
Mm,
I think for the people that you serve, you're better than him, right? The
mm,
people that you serve aren't looking to learn, like, tell me how my brain works and how can I change my brain. You work with people that say, hey, look, I need a skill that I could technically deploy, and if I deploy this skill, I can get this transformation. So for
mhm.
sure, and because it's your mixer, right? You got all the leverage. So I would make it in my favor. So hey, look, this mixer is about this. So whatever I'm an expert in, that's what this mixer is about.
Yep, yep. And I was joking earlier.
Oh yeah,
I, I'm fully aware of one, everybody has an audience as long as you know what you're talking about.
for
So
sure.
this is why comparison means nothing. Saturation means nothing as long as you are willing to get out there yourself, willing to spend money on advertising and getting your message out there. There are no limits. And I ask that question because a lot of people think, well, I saw 5 people in my town are notaries. I see 5 people teach people how to be notaries. I can't teach. I can't do it now. It's not your man. You saw 5 people, fam. You
Mhm.
you saw 5 people. Now you're scared. As long as you are even good or better, if I just have to be frank, good or better. So good, very good, great, excellent, whatever. You can win. You just have to know your stuff. And look, I like to use data. I always pull up the data, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I do it is one, to remind myself how great I am, and two, show the world. So if anybody here is struggling with self-doubt, I want you to use what I'm doing right now. And what is that, you say? Remind yourself how great you are. What have you done for people? What have you made? What impact have you created? People shrink themselves, JT, because they compare themselves too often.
Mm-hmm.
They compare themselves to what such and such did. And look, some people might have better marketing, they might have better cameras. You have an audience. And I use the number, let me go back to my Google Doc here. I use the number 10 a lot, 10 to 100, because I think if you can get 10 to 100 people to pay you a month, you win. Whether they pay you $100 or $1,000, you win. All right? So
Mm-hmm.
10 people who, so for me, it would be how to make your first 100K, how to make your first 100K with your online coaching business, right? 100K.
Mm-hmm.
Are there 10 people in the world who have not made 100K with their coaching business? Of
For sure.
course. Are there 100? Of course. So let's say 10 people pay me 1K.
Mm-hmm.
That's $10,000. All right. That's a win. Let's say 20 people pay me 1K, which is kind of what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at 20K. But if 100 people do it, that's 100K.
Mm-hmm.
Are you better? It's for anyone who's struggling with self-doubt, identifying they they only own. The people always say, "Oh, I only own a property." I'm like, you own more than 80% of the world. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
your audience are people who you are more advanced than.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it again. Your audience are people who you are more advanced than. That is your audience. So if you're struggling, you're thinking, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Are you more advanced than somebody than 10 to 100 people at the thing? And we're going to be for it. Might be marriage,
Mm-hmm.
might be how to get a job in tech.
Yep.
And the and what's going to happen is, well, I don't know. Why would they pay me? YouTube, Chat GBT. You just drove 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Airbnb money,
Yep.
gas money.
Yep. It's like this. So okay, let's say that you wanted to play basketball and LeBron James uh he came and wrote a book, everything he knows about basketball, and sold it to you. Right? Could
Mm-hmm.
you read that book, watch the tutorial videos, and then go score 40 on the Lakers in 6 months from now?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, right? Probably not. Because guess what? Just having the information doesn't make you the person, right? So even though LeBron James can teach you, here's how I think about basketball, here's how I shoot, dribble, play defense, whatever, right? Here's everything I know in written form and in videos for you to watch it, right? You still need to get in an environment where you're practicing and playing amongst people at a high level to improve the skill. So that's why you still need to get in the room. You still need to get in the community, just like and I want you guys to remember that. And whoever your favorite athlete is, but just because everybody knows who LeBron James is, the same way that if LeBron James took the time to write a book and record video courses and saying this is everything I know about basketball, and it doesn't matter if he puts a price tag on it of $1, $1,000, or $1,000,000, right? Unless you go out and practice, right? But practicing by yourself is going to create a glass ceiling. All right. Now,
Why?
right? Because there's nobody to compare it to,
Bingo.
right? It's $10,000 a month, a lot of money, right? Well, it depends on who you're around, right? I've been in a circle for years where $10,000 a month is what you're supposed to be making, and then when people started saying 6 figures a month, we was like, hold up, wait, right? And now I left a conference where a gentleman made 6 figures in a weekend, right? So now
Mm,
it's like, okay, as I level up, what if I would have stayed at the $10,000 a month club? And I'm not saying this out of greed or out of I need a newer watch, a newer car, a newer whatever, right? But this is what we know. The cost of living of everything is going to gradually go up if you stay the same. So there is no staying the same. You're getting better or you're getting worse.
yep.
Secondly, more importantly, in my humble opinion, is serving other people. So, how many people can you serve, right? If your business only makes $10,000 a month, let's say your operating costs are $2,000. Let's say your personal expenses are another $2,000 for easy math. You got $6,000 left over, right? How many people can you serve off of that $6,000 to help them get a 5, 10, 15, 20x result? Let's say out of that $6,000 a month, you can help 3 people do something impactful in their business. Why not 10x that number, right? So if you can help 3 people with 6 grand, if I gave you 60 grand a month, now you can help 30 people. How many generations are you serving that way? Right? Because sometimes
Mm,
what I also learned is really a lot of people will mask arrogance under humility. They'll say
mm,
things like, I don't need that much, right? And I'm unapologetically a believer, so just coming at it from a spiritual perspective, right? So it's arrogant because who said what God blessed you with was only for you, right? So what gives you the authority to say, I don't need it, right? Oh, I don't need that much, right? Well, maybe God giving you more than what you need because there's going to be somebody that you know of now or that hears about you in the future that he wants you to serve, and he want to make sure you got the resources before you meet the person. But if you keep saying, "Oh, you know what? Nah, I don't need all that. Long as I can just pay my bills, right? Long as I
mm.
could just, have a little extra so we can go on vacation, have a little nest egg, cool. So I'm not going to invest heavy because I know y'all saying, if I invest heavy, I can make heavy. But what if it doesn't work, right? Well, if you in line with your God given assignment, right? It ain't even what if it don't work, right? It's already ordained to work. So you gotta understand, like, is this truly your assignment? Or are you doing what so and so said they did to make a lot of money, even though you really don't like it, even though you know you shouldn't be doing it, you just chasing waterfalls instead of sticking to the rivers and lakes that you used to. So, like, we really got to get of our mindset and understand that, especially our people, a lot of the stuff we doing is just masked arrogance. So if you ever say, "Oh, I don't need that much," who said it was for you, right? God gave the power to Moses, not for Moses to go start a gang. It's like, hey, look, I'm gonna send you to Egypt to bring Israel out, right? So what if Moses was like, man, I don't need to be able to like control no plagues and turn no rod into snakes. Like, I'm cool right here in the desert chilling. Like, I'm really on the run for murder, so I'm trying to lay low. Like, I don't need all this attention, all this power you giving me. Like, I'm cool right here, right? It's not for you. All right, if you really somebody that has a heart to serve people, and I believe that if you don't have a heart to serve people, you shouldn't be in business anyway, because 100% of the money that you want is already in the possession of businesses and individuals anyway. If you just trying to go make money, go get a better job, right? Because if you want to be in business, you got to serve people, because that's the only way you're gonna get them to give you their hard-earned money, is you got to serve them at a higher level than what you charge them.
I'm going to title this one "Changing Your Belief System." So I had a notary appointment on Friday. Um, Told the lady the policy, we charge you up front, text her the invoice, had it paid damn near before I even logged that off my phone. 30
Yeah.
seconds. There was more stuff she needed, so I said, hey, it's going to be an extra fee. She's like, yeah, sure. Send it over. You're for the past ever since I started teaching, people say, "Well, I don't think people are going to pay me. They don't pay me. Where do you live? Where do you live?" People will fight you to stay average, JT.
Yep.
People will fight you to stay comfortable. They will fight you because once you touch on their belief system, once you hit that point what you're saying is past it. There's either a relief, oh wow, there's more here. There's a fear, there's a fear that they're going to retract, or there's a anger that comes out. Like, what do you mean? One of those three things are going to happen, and you need to engulf and ingrain with people who don't have roadblocks,
Mm-hmm.
who are roadblockless. Because when you slip back, you have them to fall on.
Yep.
Whenever people say, "I'm my own army," I do it all myself. I'm like, man, you are gonna stay stuck.
Yep.
You are gonna stay stuck. Ain't no one man army, fam. Where have you seen it? Military? They got five
Mm.
branches, JT.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
even
For
ladies.
Mhm.
it's it's all on us. So, what do you think my rollout should be for my how to make your first 100K with your online community program?
Yep. Yep. So I always start with the people and then reverse engineer.
Okay.
So I would say, are you working with people that already have an education business? Because I think that will give you an advantage, instead of trying to convince people to start one. So people that already have one, already want one. So it's not like you pulling teeth, and they're already doing something. They just probably aren't doing everything they should be doing, or they're not doing it right. So the build 100K education business, well, one thing that we know is that they need to have at least one $2,000 offer, because statistically speaking, if they don't have at least one $2,000 offer in their product suite, it is, according to Google, right, which knows everybody business because everybody run Google ads and talk to Google all the time, right? We know that it is disproportionately harder to make 100 grand a year if you have a whole bunch of $1 offers and you need $100,000 people to buy it. So
Okay.
magic number from Google is they need to have at least one 2K offer, right? So if I'm looking at somebody and they don't have a 2K offer, the first thing we got to say is, why don't you have at least one bundle of products or one program that's super transformative, that's at least $2,000 for somebody to buy this from you, because of the transformation. And if they have imposter syndrome, where they actually can charge that much, they just never got anybody to pay that much, or they didn't believe that they could charge that much, then we'll work on their belief system, and then we'll help them create that offer and launch it. If there's somebody that's like, legitly, I don't think it's that valuable, then what we'll do is say, okay, that's why you need to be a part of our community, because if you know that the extent of what you offer caps at $500, just making up numbers, right? Well, if you partner with this gentleman and this lady, right? They got a $3,000 offer. They have a $2,000 offer. You got a $500 offer, right? For nice round numbers, instead of saying 5,500, now you got a 6K offer, right? And a part of your offer is this person's program, that person's program, and the services that you offer as well. It has to make sense though, right? So it's not going to be I'm going to teach you how to grow organically on social media. They're going to teach you how to jump rope, and then they're going to teach you how to cut backflips. Like that has nothing to do with one another, right? But if I'm going to teach you how to grow organically on social media, and this person specializes in creating digital products and selling them, and this person specializes in business automation, so that way you don't get burnt out with the content creation, the offer creation, and the sales process, okay, that makes sense. That has a flow to it. So we would create at least a 2K offer, right? I'm only talking to people that already have an education business, or they already know they want to have an education business. I'm not trying to convince anybody that believes courses, books, mentorships is a scam, right? It's just not advantageous for those people to be in this room, right? We got to wait till they understand that this is the next level. So like we would do that, because now we're talking about having a 2K offer. If they sell 50 of them alone over the course of a year, right? Then you already at 100K. But they're also going to be making those low ticket sales as well throughout the year, to help build that up as well. So we could just audit each one of their businesses. So
Mm.
it's fundamentally, it's only a handful of things you could be doing wrong, right? Um, are you creating the value that people want to see or the value that you want them to buy? Right. So you can't feed somebody something they don't eat, right? I don't care how good your barbecue sauce is or your barbecue is. If we go into a room full of vegans, they don't want the barbecue, right? So, hey, are we actually selling what they want to buy? Are we selling them what we want them to buy? Right. So let's look at what's the product, and then okay, who's the customer? Right. Are you trying to feed newborn babies tomahawk steaks? Right. So what I mean by that, if somebody needs stage 0, 1, 2, 3, you're trying to tell them how to make $100,000, $1 million, $1 trillion, all this crazy money, right? They don't even know how to start. So let's say, okay, yeah, let's get you a proper foundation. What if I get you to 5,000 a month, right? So if I get you to $5,000 a month, if you're at zero, I gave you an extra $60,000 a year. That's life changing for most people. Probably pay off your car, pay off your student loans, pay off or pay towards your mortgage, right? Go on a little bit nicer vacation. So, hey, who am I talking to? Maybe I'm not even talking to the right people, right? So, creating your product suite in a way that you're talking to the right people with the right message, and then you actually have a deliverable that's scalable so that way you don't burn out before you make your money, right? So if all you sell is like one-on-one coaching programs where you're going to deal with that person for a year, right, you're going to eventually burn out. You're doing one-to-one. So hey, maybe you got to do group coaching. Maybe there's certain things that you could just put them in a community with access to courses and resources and just monitor that and help them get to the next level that way as well, right? So for sure, doing that and then productizing your business, right? There should be certain things in your business that make money while you sleep. You should have a subscription based offer. I don't care if that's a community, I don't care if that's a SaaS, whatever it is, right? But there should be something that you sell once that gets you paid perpetually over and over and over again, right? And once we start doing that, we'll start seeing that, oh, $100,000 a year, not that hard, JT. Like, yeah, right. It's just the formula. And whether I do it, you do it, stranger off the street does it, it works as long as we do it the right way with the right belief system.
Out of this, out of the community subscription-based offer, 101s, what's the most profitable?
Your premium value offer, whatever is going to be your big transformation. So some people call it your high ticket offer, but your premium value offer is that's what's going to bring in, the most money, and if you do it right with the least amount of effort. Because one thing I know about high performers is that they don't need you to hold their hand because
They
they
don't
trying
want.
to move faster than the rate you trying to walk them. Like I'm notorious, like anybody that ever goes to a conference with me like gets mad at me because I end up ghosting them. I'm notorious for not staying at conferences until they end. Like if
Mm.
it's a 2 day conference, I'm there for a day and a half. If it's a 3 day conference, I might come 1 or 2 days. Like how my mind works is once I get something that I can execute on, right? While I still am in that energy, in that mode, I'm going straight into execution, right? So I don't believe in information overload. I don't believe in being overwhelmed and analysis paralysis because being paralyzed from information don't move the needle in my business, don't move the needle in my life. So I know strategically, I like many other people out there, if I hear a lot of good information, I might be interested in a variety of things, but I know even with my full-time team, we're not going to be able to execute on everything effectively. So what I would do is say, okay, look, boom, out of what I heard so far, what do I think is the biggest needle moving activity? Right. And if that's major needle moving activity, all right, cool. I'm gonna go execute on it. I went to Funnel Hacking Live, which is a Russell Brunson event. The software ClickFunnels, he's co-owner of that. And a gentleman by the name of Perry Belcher introduced me to newsletters, right? And that's all I needed. I might have paid with Airbnb, with travel, with tickets. I paid like 9 grand. all I needed was to hear him talk about newsletters, and
And
I
you
was like,
left.
"You changed my life."
And after that, you left, or did you stay?
Yeah, I
What's your?
left. I was gone. I went day one of a 3-day conference. And I bought tickets for two other people. I didn't even tell them I wasn't coming. They showed up. They was like, "Hey, it's like 1,000 people here. Where you at?" "Oh shoot, I'm at the Airbnb." They're like, "Oh, you good?" "Yeah, I'm good. When you coming?" "I'm not." Like, just let me. They're like, "Oh, Eric Thomas is speaking," and then Myron Golden. Hey, great guys. Hey, tell me what they say. Like, let's go out to dinner after the event. Like, they're like, "What you doing?" "I'm building my newsletter."
All you need to get is what you need to get, then get to work.
Yeah, for sure. That's a mistake a lot of people make as a consumer is they don't understand that even if you buy something, you might not be able to hold everything that you bought. So
No, you
for example,
can't.
yeah.
You
So
can't.
there's
Man.
people out here that'll change your life. Like Alex Hormozy, super popular guy.
Yeah.
I know some people that said that he had a program I think was 30 grand. And it will really help you move the needle if you're trying to build $100 million a year business, right? But what if a part of that program requires you to figure out how you can profitably and strategically spend $30,000, $40,000 a day in ad spend? Right? So like, okay, you wanted to just scramble your money together so you can get in the room because they talking about 100 M's and you don't even know, well, what does it cost to get $100 million? Right? So just general rule of thumb, it's gonna cost you hundreds of dollars to make thousands. It's gonna cost you thousands to make millions. It's gonna cost you tens of millions to make hundreds of millions. Right? So
Say
just
that again.
yeah, it's gonna cost you hundreds to make thousands. It's gonna cost you thousands to make tens of thousands. It's gonna cost you, thousands to make millions as well, and tens of millions to make 100 million.
So
Right?
you
So
can't be cheap.
nah. Well, unless you just don't want much out of life, like you gonna be a hermit. Yeah, if you just want to live in the middle of the intersection off a loose change somebody got in the cup holder. But for sure, and this is the thing, right? We have an unhealthy relationship with money because we were always taught that legit money has to be slow. Like, so we were always taught legit money. It take 2 weeks to get a paycheck. It take an entire year to get a refund check. You got to wait till somebody die to get a lump sum of money through their life insurance policy. So when you get around entrepreneurs that say, "I make your 2 week check in an hour. I make your 2 week check in a day. I make your 1 month check in a day." Right? Like I told you, I was at an event where a guy made $225,000 in 2 days. So you, the average viewer watching this, how long does it take you to make 200 grand? Right? If you make 100,000 a
Mm.
year, it takes you 2 years and a quarter of the third year in order to make that, right? So we have to understand that just because the way that you were taught worked for your ancestors, and it may work for you as long as you want to stay on their level, right? Hey, I love mama, love grandmama. I don't want to make the mama, I don't want to make the money mama and grandma made. So if I don't want to make the money mama and grandma made, I want to make more money, faster money than them, then maybe I got to go find a recipe that mama and grandmama didn't have.
And pay for the recipe.
Oh, for sure.
You gotta find the recipe, pay for a recipe, and get it going.
Yeah, and you pay
So
for your benefit, not even for, because some people will say, "I don't want to see Dre make $1,000." What if 40 people come to the event? Dre made 40 grand at this
I don't
event.
feel comfortable with that. I'm like, well, who cares?
Yeah,
That's the ultimate. I'm gonna just call it what it is. That's the ultimate loser mentality, JT.
yeah.
Because do you want to buy from somebody who's not successful?
Nah. And what they don't know is like one of the biblical rules of success that nobody can get around is reaping and sowing. So you're going to reap in your business who you are as an entrepreneur.
Uh,
So if
ev-
if if you're going to sow lack, fear, doubt in your business, you're going to attract customers that lack the results that you offer, that are cheap and slow about paying for it, and that doubt that it's high quality even after you convince them. So that's not a Dre JT law. That's a biblical law. You reap what you sow.
The
So if
law
you
of nature.
so lacking in nothing into your business, you can't be upset like, man, why won't nobody buy from me? Oh, I'm cheaper than such and such, but they charge way more money and make more sales than me. Why in the world? Like, they'll say that doesn't even make sense. They charge $10,000. I charge 200, and I know the same thing they know. Why is it that they easily get people to pay them 10,000? I struggle to get somebody to give me 200, right? And that is because nothing to do with them, nothing to do with you. Universal law says you reap what you sow. So you're going to reap in your business what you sold into it. Cheapness, doubt, lack, right? All of that negativity, right? That went somewhere. That went into your business. So it's like weeds, right? So if weeds will grow or flowers will grow, it depends on what you plant on that fertile soil. That fertile soil is your subconscious mind, right? Going back to your belief system. So for sure, right? So anytime you're worried about how much money the other person makes, know that that belief system is sowing a seed in your subconscious mind, which makes up 95% of who you are. And you're going to attract in your business people that won't pay you because they don't want you to make $40,000, $1,000, or whatever. Right. So, hey, as long as Dre is giving me more value than what I'm buying, happily, right? I couldn't get that man $1,000 quick enough. And then I had to go get the Airbnb, which was another 3, 4 grand. Then I had to
Mm.
drive 5 hours there and 5 hours back. Right? So, man, and enjoyed every minute of it. Like, if he offers another one, I'm coming, I'm gonna do it again. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, I'll go through the same event twice. Right? Right. Pay the same money, come back again. All he gotta do is offer it again. I'm back.
Wow. So for the mixer, I said, all right, I'm gonna have free food. So I had
Yep.
paid for catering, XYZ. I had said, you know what? I want to try my hand at some sponsors. So I asked some people. Not everyone said yes, but I got three. I
Mm-hmm.
got three who paid, and it actually covered everything.
Yep.
I have a friend, great guy. I think his meter to hear no is relatively low,
Mm-hmm.
meaning some people know it's forgotten about damn near. It's okay.
Yeah.
I forgot I even heard it. Some people they hear no, it's okay, a sting. Second one, more of a sting. Third one, okay, I'm done asking.
Yeah.
I realize I have a high no threshold.
Yep.
He's doing events for I think it was 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
No sponsors. I first one in a while sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
Your ability to hear no will make or shake your financial future.
For sure.
Not take it personal, not pushy either, but a quick no, move on to a quick yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you would be shocked if you were just more willing just to hear no. But aren't, when you don't have the reps in, as they say, it's just easier to stay small.
Yep.
You got to increase the reps, the notary reps, the ebook reps, the conference reps. You got to increase the reps because you're just going to get immune to it. And that's that's just some encouraging words because I said, wow, like I did it. And I think I asked 7 people, 3 said yes. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, that's really good odds too. You don't know. You
Yeah.
don't know. Throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so JT, what is next for the summer? Are you going to Invest Fest,
Nah, nah,
Podcast
nah,
Summit, any of those?
nah. I don't think I'm gonna make it this year, man. Like, man, there's so many great festivals and conferences coming up that
Yeah.
man, I could stay gone probably the rest of the year. But what I really want to do is I noticed when I was sick a couple of weeks ago, my business kept running, but it wasn't running as smoothly as I wanted it to. So that showed me that as we grow, I gotta take a step back and go back and visit, okay, why was this a bottleneck in the business? So what I told myself is I'm gonna lock in and figure out where are the bottlenecks in my business, where
Mm.
does money decline or stop if I get sick, if I step away, if I'm unable to do whatever for a while. So I'm challenging myself to not go anywhere until we patch the leaks in our boat and then moving forward. But I'm super confident that a lot of problems a week or less, right? You guys will be surprised how much stuff you can solve in a week or less. And by solve, sometimes it might just mean we got unnecessary steps, right? So I what I noticed when I was sick was that I wasn't a micromanager, but I built a system that would micromanage the heck out of them. So that slowed down, productivity when I was out of the loop because it was
Mm.
checks and balances in the system. But guess who was doing all of the checks? Me, right? So okay, how can we create a system that they can run that is less checks, or they can check themselves and balance themselves out and keep it moving. So yep, and I recommend every business to do that. Like for sure, always be looking for ways to grow, but every now and then it might make sense for you to recalibrate and say, okay, what am I doing right now? How much money is that bringing in? Is there any money I'm leaving on the table by not being more optimized, organized, efficient in my business? And then once we patch that up, okay, look, there's always another event. Trust me. There's always people that'll take your
Always.
$1,000 to come in the room and like, trust me, you'll find an event to go to that can help you get to the next level. But you don't want to get to a point where you're constantly trying to add stuff to a business that doesn't have a proper foundation, or it has
Hmm.
a leak in it. And the more you stack on it, the more you expose the deficiencies of it. So yep, just being real, man, I'm locking in on tightening up the business so it can run even better without me being in it.
That's something that Killer Mike and Ti did for their restaurant, Bankhead Seafood, which is actually not far from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
They shut the restaurant down. They said, "Hey guys, we're going to be closed." I don't think they gave a timetable, but they said we need to fix some operational stuff. So we'll be closed for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
And I really respected that. I respected, okay, they're doing something wrong. Maybe feedback from the customers, maybe food, maybe customer service, not sure which one. But we're just going to halt it. We're going to get it going, then come back. You got to know when to sit down and lock in. In the conference of information stuff, it can be fun. You can get so high off of information, you think you've done stuff. No, you're just high off of information and fun.
Yep.
What
And
have
no
you done?
execution. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
time to go execute.
I'm going to execute. So, JT, appreciate your time, brother. We will see you
Anytime.
next week.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace.
All right, peace.